When we keep all of that expired thinking and those old patterns, there's not room for anything new. There's not room for the love that's actually meant for you. You've built a great life. You've built a life that on the outside looks perfect. The career, the family, the success. But there's this one thing. There's this one thing that you still can't seem to get right. And it's the one thing that you never thought at this time in your life that you'd be without. Extraordinary love. Love that matches the life that you've built. Not who you were 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Who you are today. I see this all the time. High-achieving, successful women who are brilliant and emotionally intelligent. And the question is, what is wrong with me? Why do I keep ending up here over and over again? Why can't I get this right? Why is everything else I touch gold, except this one thing that I want the most? I'd love to share why. We all want to live our version of our very best life. But the truth is, you can't go from being held back by old stories and past pain and old relationships and experiences to just living your very best life, right? First, we have to clear before we can create. We have to clear the story to create the life. How many times have you said, I want a different story? Let me tell you a secret. If you want a different story, you have to stop telling the old one. And we have to clear the cycles to create the confidence. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and think, I don't know. I don't know. How do I know? I thought I knew, and look how that turned out. That sense of not being able to trust ourselves because we've had these experiences happen over and over again, and there's all this evidence. So we have to clear all of those cycles to create that confidence so that you can trust yourself again and fall in love with yourself and communicate boundaries and deeply enrich all the relationships in your life. We have to clear the patterns to create the partnerships. We want aligned, genuine, amazing partnerships, romantically, professionally, in our friends and our family. But when we bring all of those patterns with us, we don't get those partnerships. We get more of the same. And we have to clear the loss to create the love. So when we think about patterns, and again, there's so much of this stuff, 90% of who you are right now, you picked up between 0 and 7. And all of that stuff lives in your unconscious mind and it runs the show. So imagine if you were to give a 5-year-old child the ability to make a decision that was going to run your life now, you'd be like, no, that's silly. But that's how our operating system is functioning. Some patterns you're totally aware of. Many of them you're not. I want to dispel the myth that you have to go and unpack it all and figure it out and go back to the thing that happened when you were 6 that made you feel sad or that you had to be a different way. None of that actually matters. Now, let me be clear. It's all beneficial, right? Therapy, talking to your girlfriends, reading books, journaling, all of that is wonderful. But at a certain point, after you've done that work, you have to let go of the story. Because let me tell you something. Every single time you go back into the story, it re-traumatizes your body because everything that's happened to us in our life is held at a cellular level. We think about memory being in the brain, and of course it lives in the circuitry, but it actually is cellular. So when we go back to the thing that was painful, whether it was a week ago or a decade ago, that neurology is reactivated, fully fired up, and your body experiences again and again and again as though it continues to happen. If you think about your closet or your pantry. So recently I decided I was gonna clean the pantry, and I'm 49, perimenopausal, throw in a little ADD. I love things to be organized, and also sometimes it just piles up all around me and I wanna close the door. So the pantry had been an issue. So it was a Saturday morning, I took everything out and I put it all over the kitchen. It was ridiculous, so much stuff in there. And I cleaned all the pantry, and then I looked at all this stuff and I threw out all the expired cans of whatever and the half-open boxes of orzo and the napkin thing that was smushed around. I threw all of that away and then I put it all back. And it was organized. And when I opened it made me feel like Christmas. When we keep all of that expired thinking and those old patterns, there's not room for anything new. There's not room for the love that's actually meant for you. So I'd like to invite you to consider that there's nothing wrong with you. You are not cursed to have a life alone. It's just, there's a lot of expired stuff in your pantry and we just gotta clear it. So I would love to leave you with a gift. What if you could spend 10 minutes and get insight that would change everything that you know about yourself and how you show up and how you are in relationship with others? In the description below, there's a link. Go take the Ellie. So the Extraordinary Love Index answers the question, what's standing between you and extraordinary love? Give yourself a good 10 or 15 minutes, take this assessment, and I'm gonna send you a 28-page personalized report just for you, looking at those 9 key areas. And it's gonna give you insight into where you are, what you might be experiencing, what you might be feeling, and what's the cost of staying there, and what can you do right now to start to move yourself in the direction that's aligned with who you are today and the things that you actually want. Click that link, go take the Ellie, and I'll see you soon.